Welcome to Zelda Speedruns. We have for you from the Zelda 2 Randomizer Max Rando Tournament 2025, a round 2, game 3 matchup between PKT Patrick and chadbert. On tracking today we have JLo, and I'll pass it over to our commentator for this race, Sonny Rath. Take it away.
Thanks, VT. So, yes, like VT just said, it is game 3. Whichever one of these two fantastic runners wins this will be advancing to the semifinals. Second to last match of the quarterfinals here, and no knowledge as to whom the opponent will be. It is between Level Engine and Homewrecker as their opponent. So, hopefully, we will have some great Zelda 2 randomizer action, with this being the Max Rando Tournament. Could be a 0 gem seed or all the way up to a 6 gem seed with items and spells in tow. But with that, Patrick and Chad are off, starting with Dash Spell, Upstab, and the Child already turned in with a 4 gem seed. So not too terribly bad. 6 heart containers at the start with the standard 4 magic containers. That will never be something that changes. And only 2 lives. This could be a bit of a pain for either one of them. And Chad getting business from this Gorilla, as Patrick finds a 3 or 6, is going to take on the Red Iron Knuckle and find out how much experience it gives, which it's a 70-point red IK this time around, so nothing too bad, but nothing great either. And there's the generator kicking in for Chad, as Patrick is going to explore just a little bit and then back out. Chad, though, about to find a palace, finds 2 palaces. We see P1, and the other palace is P4. So we have 1, 3, or 6, and 4 here on the west. And it is a mountainous west, so it could be a little bit of a pain to navigate. Rudo holding the Thunder Spell for chadbert this time around. Definitely going to grab the trophy hint just to see where it lies. Patrick taking out the Red Dire for 150, going to get attack 2 from that, which very well may be a good boost in attack power. Going to take the death and probably go after the Dyra again, but instead proves me wrong, going over to the other side. I have missed where the trophy was, as well as if there have been any hints here in Rudo. And unfortunately, Patrick going to be taking a game over there, and potential Heart Container Cave here for Chad, and it does look like it is Heart Container Cave. So it should not be too bad to get through. Alright, Chad getting life 2. Trophies in the east. Thank you, Danger Mole. I appreciate you. And Heart Container Cave here for Chad does have a hammer. Might be necessary, as Mito is found by Patrick, has the shield spell. Patrick not going to go in to check for any hints, but definitely will come back for downstab later. So far, encounters haven't looked too terribly bad. chadbert now in Pillar P-Bag Cave, and looks like there's another bouncy cat, as we love to call them, here in the cave. Unfortunately, that plus the Octorok takes Chad out. Down 1 life onto the last life. King's Tomb here for Patrick has no hint in the pool. And Chad gonna go ahead and grab attack 2 here. So with the palaces that have been found, it could be very interesting, as 1, if it's 3, that'll be 2 short palaces, 4 mid-length palace, and then if it's 6, you got a short, mid-length, and a long palace. Saria coming up here for Chad. Unfortunately, it's the wrong side, and it has Spell, so not a bad find. Patrick going to go ahead and take life 3 here, and Chad is going to continue exploring through the west. Now it's just finding the remaining item caves as well as wherever a connector may lie to be able to get off of the west itself. Potentially go to Death Mountain, could go to the maze, could go to the east. If it's Death Mountain, I have a feeling that we're going to see a vanilla shuffled Death Mountain. Patrick finding Bagu's Woods. Gets P-Bag drop, 200 points in the small enemy pool. Chad finding Trophy Cave, which is very nice. Another item going to be obtained here. So we'll just have to wait and see exactly what it is. And oh my goodness, that is a glove coming in for chadbert. Gonna go ahead and take the magic level. So gotta be feeling good here. As Patrick finds Bagu, he will be able to cross Saria, and there is a raft tile here to lead off of this mountainous west. There could be a cave sitting somewhere as a connector. Grass tile going to yield a magic jar for Chad, and he's going to get the 200 point P-Bag alongside that. I'm going to go ahead and take the magic level just to push up to magic 3, which does make Dash castable at 52 MP. So that is going to be something I know Chad will use quite heavily. We do see a boulder blocked cave on Chad's side, and Patrick finds Raru, and the spell is life. So not a bad pickup, especially on a 2-life seed, if Patrick decides to pick it up. And Chad does find a heart container, going to get that life refill, which is always nice to see. And making use of Dash now just to get out of Magic Container Cave that much faster. So there's only, I believe, one item cave that hasn't been seen, and Death Mountain that immediately leads to a maze island. Gonna check the palace here on the maze. It's the other 3-6. So a nice set of connectors found here for chadbert with the bridge that is going to lead off the maze. Chad, thinking about taking on the Blue Lizard, decides against it, or Blue Lizalfos, shall I say, decides to not take it on, and I can't blame him. And we have a mountainous east as well. So lots of mountains, and blink and you miss it, Leak Dolls are also in the small enemy pool, which is nice to see because you can set up that drop and be able to have extra lives while in GP. So Chad is gonna head over to this palace that he found, so long as the encounter lets him. And he does make it through. He's gonna go into the palace, and it's either 2 or 5. And survey says that is 5. Patrick picking up the spell, remembering the magic word, which is always good. And Chad gonna take out an orange Lizalfos, gonna find out, well, I was gonna say find out how much it's worth, but it instead decided to drop a P-Bag, which kind of ruins that plan. So Chad with a pretty good exploration lead here. And just gonna cruise through the east for a little bit just to see what all he can find. There is a 3-eye rock here that could hold a palace, a cave, or it could hold absolutely nothing. But 2 towns, first one that's found is New Kasuto. Gonna check and see if he has access to Grandma's basement, which he does not. Requires 7 magic containers, but he's gonna go pick up the spell. Patrick making his way through Pillar Peabag Cave. And Chad taking the life refill after grabbing the magic refill. Gonna grab the spell, which I believe was Reflect. Yes. So with that, Chad's actually not in too bad of a position. Just really needs to pick up Fairy and then is in Logical Palace access. Patrick making his way back through Pillar Feedbag Cave. We see 3 towns here. Chad deciding not to go see what Old Kasuto's spell is. Instead, comes over to Naburu and finds Jump. So right now, Patrick has a bit of a level lead at 333. Chad has done a lot of exploration and has amassed a decent amount of spells, has a good bit of knowledge, still no idea where GP is, and Patrick now has the hammer from Heart Container Cave. So the question now becomes, is Chad going to head back into Old Kasuto to find out what the spell is in there? He's going to stop into the cave first, reset the encounters, and then finish out the walk. He makes it into the door as Patrick is going to go ahead and jump into P1. And it's the fairy spell from Old Kasuto. Item room found for Patrick in P1, but he can't do anything because he has no keys, he has no fairy, he has no way to make it past the lock. Does find out that Rudo has the Thunder Spell, and Chad is going to jump into this 3-6. Gets the information that the Red Iron Knuckles in 3, 4, and 6 are only worth 70 points, and decides to back out, which, you know, it's really not a bad play. He hasn't picked up Downstab yet, so he could be backing out just to go grab that. But instead, he is going to come into P1 and get through that as Patrick is into Trophy Cave. Gonna pick up his glove hopefully soon? Okay, makes it past the Red Dyra, picks up the glove, and is able to be in a slightly better position. Chad ferrying through and picking up the cross from P1. Not the most useful item, but also not entirely a useless item. Looks like life did not heal too terribly much this time around. I missed if it was 1 or 2. Okay, thank you, JLo. It was 1 bar life this time. Little unfortunate, but you get what you take what you can get, and in this case, unfortunately, you're not getting much. Alright, so Glove Fairy Lock found for Chad. And Patrick gonna take a death here, but has extra lives in reserve. 50 points coming from the 125 red IKs. So, experience not looking too great right now. Could see something really nice come out of the Drippers here. 500 point Magos would be amazing. Blue Iron Knuckle that you can kill relatively quickly would be nice, but in this case, no. Does get a key, though, for killing that red IK. So keys being in the large drop pool is a welcome sight. Alright, Patrick finds the way to DM and then to the maze. Decides to proceed. Into the maze, gonna check the palace here. And Chad is just on the hunt for Horsehead. Well, I say he's on the hunt for Horsehead. He just found Horsehead. It doesn't seem like this attack 2 is too terribly bad. Horsehead's going to go down pretty quickly. And just like that, Chad has one of the 4 gems placed. I have a feeling he is going to go... He is not going to go beyond to try to push the double level in this case. He is instead going to take the... What was that? 55 experience in order to get attack 3, and that's an up and A to go out of the palace. Onwards to the next one. In this case, he is going to go after 4. Patrick, now over on the east, with that instant water tile, but no boots to be found. So, with P4, Chad's hoping this one is relatively quick. Patrick, unfortunately, taken a death here, still has 2 lives. And Chad getting an extra life drop here. Always nice to see. Alright, Patrick finds 5 as Chad is exploring this 4. Finds the P bag down on the crumbling bridge. Can grab it, only 70 points. Not the worst. And still quite helpful as he is still at levels that are under $1,000 on the experience requirement. And that is a good question from Laffy. We will see Harder Karok this seed, as Harder Karok has become the norm for Standard. Patrick has not searched the maze. I believe he is trying to get Fairy or Jump, something to just grant Logical Palace access. Magic Key would be amazing. Of course, Fairy Spell, which Chad does have Fairy. It is in Old Pseudo. Desert Tile located with the trophy. So that is something that Chad did skip out on. Thunder could play a factor in the seed. Chad about to hit the 350 point level. I'm going to go ahead and take life 4 here. And continuing off to the right. And is still able to continue as Patrick finds Risen P-Bag Cave. Now with this being a 2-life seed, it is a little risky to be reliant on Fairy, especially when you're having to Death Warp to refill your magic. So if this is the Magic Key, this is going to be really good news for Patrick. But instead, it is the Raft. Chad still running through this P4, trying to find Karok. I don't think he's found the item yet. I agree with you on that, Gundam Unicorn. It is an interesting play to not check the items on the maze, but sometimes the interesting play could pay off. As Chad finds Karok, gonna cast Reflect. Fortunately, the boss drops are a red magic jar, so it's gonna be a full magic refill for Chad, allowing him to ferry through the gate unless he has a key, which I was not able to check. Not taking too much damage from the magic. And one more hit. Karok is down. Patrick still working on going through the east, trying to get the information. Chad gonna let it ride. And he's gonna get attack 4 out of this. So just like that, Chad is up 2 palaces. Patrick has yet to clear 1. And Chad goes 1 room deeper just to see if he can find the item, and there's no item. So now it is heading for this 3-6 just to get that 3rd palace down. Alright, Patrick's sitting at 3-3-4. Chad's sitting at 4-3-4, though has 2 palaces done. And Darunia has been located, which, since the child was in the starting inventory, already turned in. Dash is already in the spellbook. So nothing really needed there. Not even upstab, as that was in the starting inventory as well. Seed's not been too bad so far, Shadow. The East had Reflect, it had Fairy, it's had a lot of good stuff, and right now Chad is up 2 gems. The only thing that is a potential problem is that the Desert Tile had the trophy, which leads to Thunder. Item room here for Chad in this palace. I'm not sure if it's 3 or 6. I haven't seen any windows. And okay, that's the magic key. Magic is no longer a concern for chadbert as Patrick finds Sunken Peabag Cave. Gets the tin suit spawner as Patrick takes a mace to the face from a blue Lizolfos. It is a 4-gem seed, Trails. And just gets a P-Bag for Sunken Peabag Cave. So that magic key for Chad is a huge pickup, and now it's just going to be finding the boss, which I'm fairly certain this is 6. So definitely going to be hunting for Barba here. Alright, Chad taking the life level, going to go up to life 5 here. Patrick going to go turn in... I believe he's going to go turn in the trophy. And that will be the Thunder Spell. Alright, elevator coming up for chadbert. We're going to see exactly where this goes, what it leads to. Is it the magic elevator? He's going to grab the P-Bag, head up the elevator, and it does lead to another glove fairy block. Going to head off to the right here, and able to continue right. Not a dead end yet. Patrick, on the other hand, checking all the caves. Alright, with that, Chad has made it to Barba, and attack 4, really not that bad of a fight, but can take a little bit of time. Alright, gets a good amount of hits on that cycle. Patrick taking a death, unfortunately. And Chad having a very, very good Barba fight right now. And takes Barba down, putting his 3rd palace on the board. Gonna go ahead and take the magic level, and this will actually push up to magic 5. Howdy, Trails.
Hey, what's going on, man? Sorry about that. I was having an echo.
Oh, no worries, dude.
Sorry for being late, man.
Hey, you're all good.
So it looks like Chadbert's crushing it, man.
Oh yeah, Chad is just cruising through this seed right now.
Chad living up to the name.
No kidding there. And Patrick's about to pick up Thunder, which the trophy being on the desert tile is really the only thing that Chad's missed that's huge.
It is 24 minutes in, and he's got 3 gems already placed, and he's just looking for the next place to place one. Man.
Oh yeah, this seed has been a blazer. But
Did they start with the glove?
they did not. It was actually in Trophy Cave fairly early on. So this is one of those seeds that, and I know you're very familiar with this situation. If GP does GP things, then it's really anybody's game.
Oh, absolutely. If there's a GP like the GP that I had in my last race, it's anything can happen.
Exactly.
But still, though, 25 minutes in and not a single gem place. He hasn't found Fairy or the magical key. Where were both of those? Were they both on the east?
So Magical Key was in P6, sorry, and then Fairy was in Old Kasuto.
Was there a hint for the magical key?
Didn't see a hint for the magic key. Chad ended up running into it while heading over towards Barba. There's the raft tile.
Excuse me. Chadbert's gonna finish, and Patrick's gonna be like, "What the heck?"
I mean, it all depends upon how GP is, because Chad has not found GP over in the east, and the only other palace that he has aside from GP in the east is 2. We know that 2 is going to be in the Valley of Death, since Patrick found GP just south of 3 Eye Rock.
What is on the chat's talking about the desert tile? What was that, like the trophy linked to Thunder or something?
Yep, trophy to Thunder. Thank you, Gundam.
Yeah, Chroma's quite a feather to stick in your cap. Holy jeez. That guy's taken me out so many different times. He's taken me out. He's former any percent world record holder.
Yeah, Chroma's no joke, and I will say that was a rough race, but he was a formidable opponent and will always be a formidable opponent, and that just gives more respect.
Yeah,
all right.
Absolutely.
Chad finding the side of Saria that he was looking for earlier, as Patrick has made it into Hammer Cave. Coming towards the end of it, time to see what the item is here, and I will not complain about more magic.
Yeah, that's not the worst find. I bet you he was hoping for the any key.
Oh, I guarantee he was. And he's gonna end up taking a game over, but up and A before it actually does the full game over, and Chad is... I think he's looking for Mito at this point just to get downstab, as upstab was in the starting inventory, but not downstab.
Is it a 2 life seed?
It is a 2 life seed. They started with 6 heart containers though, so very generous on that front.
Yeah, 2 life seeds are the worst. I'll take 1 heart seed over 2 life.
I would take a 1 heart seed over a 2 life seed any day. Yeah, and life only heals 1 bar, which we've said this in the past. Life will either heal 5 or it'll heal 1. There's never an in-between.
Yeah, you're not lying.
Alright, Chad's gonna come into 3.
I wonder if in 5.0 they're gonna fix that.
You know, we can hope.
Yeah, because it feels like it's either one or the other. It's never in between. I've never seen it heal 4 bars before, or it's very rare.
I've seen it once or twice, but it is extremely rare. Magic Jar drop here in the maze was rather vanilla, so we have something to yell at Elendar about. And I believe Chad's going to go and do Downstabless Rebo, which I'm a fan of. I love this fight.
It's fun this way. I think it's more fun this way.
I agree. Unfortunately, he misses the first stab, but what you gonna do? Does get Rebo off of the horse, and not gonna be able to cast life, so he cannot take another hit.
It sucks to knock him off the horse all the way over there in the corner, because I always try to like neutral and get on the other side of him, because it gives you more screen to hit him.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you on that. And if you do it right, you can bounce off of him and then jump over. And in this case,
he's in the perfect position right here.
Yeah, this is prime positioning. Unfortunately, pushes him off the screen, but only one hit remains. And there it is.
You gotta be careful, because you can actually kill this guy off a screen, and then the key will fall off the screen. And you have to restart the whole palace all over again.
Fortunately, it did not happen this time around, and Chad has all 4 gems placed at 30 minutes and we'll say 32 seconds. 4, 5, 6, comfortable levels. I can actually say this. I know 4, 5, 6 is a comfortable spot for him for going into GP.
Well, depending on the GP. If it's like one of those hellish GPs.
Yeah, that's very true. And no gems for Patrick yet, which is I'd say a bit of a shock on this, because Patrick's no joke of an opponent either.
Yeah, I mean, I guarantee you, if he had the things, he would probably have at least 3 or 4 gems placed by now.
Oh yeah. Oh, Spec Rock only holding the candle this time around, which is a little unfortunate to see. Fairy's still costing 47 MP, so Chad's only going to be able to get 1 cast of Fairy out per life, and it looks like he may be going to check Death Valley.
This is where GP is, right?
GP is just south of 3-Eye Rock.
Oof.
This is going to be 2.
Well, it'll be information at least. I don't know how easy it is to get back to the east, but when he figures it out, maybe he can just up an A and come on back.
It's not too bad, fortunately, to make it back to the east. It's just going to be whether or not he can make it through this on the 2 lives that he has. And so far, well, I was going to say so far he's making good work of it, but unfortunately that bop costs 1 of his lives.
Yeah, VOD can be absolutely terrible. I've done Seeds of the Week where you had to go through VOD in order to get Fairy Spell.
Yeah, I've had that happen actually back in Upstarts. And it was not fun, I'll tell you that. Yes, Desi. The spell in Old Kasuto is Fairy, and Chad is going to attempt to make it through this last lava tile. If he can make it through, then he will be home free. Unfortunately, he gets bopped and takes the death.
Which is actually a blessing in disguise.
It is. But the question is, will he attempt to go back for it?
I don't think he has any other choice, does he? He knows what's on the west.
He does, but he's still missing, he's actually missing where GPU is. So that could be a bit of a factor here, as he's going to go ahead and get downstab, which I like this move. The only thing he may need to grab still is Thunder.
Did he get the hint for the trophy?
Yes, I'm pretty sure he did.
There it is, just way out, just sitting right out in the open.
Yep. And Patrick's gonna continue exploring on the east, and he finds the clump of towns that he needed to find.
Oh my
All
god,
right.
Chadbert was right there. All you had to do was go south. He was just there a second ago.
Yeah. It's a thing. And if he decides to check some stuff on Maze Island, he will be rewarded with another magic container. But I don't foresee him doing that. Alright. Chad about to make it through this encounter and be on his way back over to the east. And poor Patrick thinking all these towns were flute locked. Unfortunately, they were not. Alright, we're gonna see if...
I guarantee you he
Jess.
finds it. I guarantee you he finds it right here. Yep, there it is.
Yep. He sees it. He's zeroed in on it. He is in GP. Gonna take the up A. Cast dash. Barrier up at
35-38 curtain.
Yep. So, it has the potential to be a blowout, but at the same time, it's not over until it's over. And he is absolutely hoping that T-Bird is not going to be required. It's a 50-50 chance, but when T-Bird's required and you don't have Thunder, oh, it doesn't feel bad.
Yeah, it means you gotta leave, come back, and get the Thunder spell. And I mean, little does he know, he's way in the lead here. So, I mean, you know, he's got plenty of time to figure it out.
He absolutely does. He's going to head down the elevator on the four-way, sees that it leads into another split, head up, and that continues on to a left. So I have a feeling we're going to see it down right here from Chad. Yeah, the palaces that Chad did complete were not that long, so it just all comes down to how quickly can Patrick actually get through these palaces and make up that bit of time.
Yeah, Patrick must feel behind after all this. Just finding the fairy spell just sitting out there like that.
And there's the key for Patrick, so he is in a much better position now. Chad, unfortunately, getting hit by King Bot, runs into a paperclip room here. This GP is, it's interesting so far.
Yeah, wouldn't it be crazy if Dark Link was just first door to the right? Just go right. That's got to be the worst feeling.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time I've seen it, I'll tell you that. And I know you've probably seen that happen quite a few times.
Yeah, absolutely. I think even in this tournament.
That would not surprise me, especially with how many GPs we end up running through as a whole in the tournament.
Yeah, not just that. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of go lefters.
That's true. All right. Oh, Chad, unfortunately, taken the beam to the face.
Took a beam to the eyeball. That was like one of those just above the shield beams.
Yeah, that was one of those beams that you can't really do anything about, and you're just like, ah, that feels bad.
Yeah, you could tell he's being very liberal with his magic casting because he knows he doesn't have thunder, so he's just kind of like, I'm not gonna need thunder because I don't have it anyway. So Just, usually you'll see people try to conserve their magic as much as possible. I think this is a loop. No, it's not. There was a red bird in the loop.
Yeah, this is a different 4-way. He's gonna head down, hit elevator shaft, and
this has got long GP vibes on it.
It does.
Sorry, I don't mean to keep cutting you off, man. My bad.
No, you're good, bro. You said exactly what was on my mind. That's the best part. Huh. And there it is!
Wow. What a, I mean, it's gonna... Patrick's not even gonna have a single gem placed.
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, he's fighting Barbara right now, right?
He is, and Chad's just got to make it through this, and his ticket's punched to the semifinals. One more hit, and there it is. Get your GGs out for chadbert.
Wow, GGs. He's going to want to watch this one back.
He is absolutely going to want to watch this one back. 40 minutes and 2 seconds.
Unbelievable.
In total, 8 minutes per palace.
Yeah, he crushed it.
I know he's going to need to take a moment to recompose himself after that. That was...
I think the entire tournament is full of nothing but new guys at the top. I think all of the maybe level engines left. I can't remember, but everybody that's in the semifinals and going to be in the finals is all brand new people.
Yeah, level engine's the only remaining vet at this point.
You love to see it, man.
Holy moly. And it looks like Patrick's going to play this one out, which I can't blame him. I will tell you, chadbert and I have been practicing together a lot during not only standard tournament, but even in preparation for this tournament. And he was fairly nervous coming into this game 3. And just obliterated the seed.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, coming in... When it's ever a situation where it's like win or go home, that's very stressful.
Indeed.
So, does chadbert have an opponent already lined up, or... That's, Top Life, right? Or...
Top Life's my opponent. It will be between Level Engine and Homewrecker, and we are waiting for the next game of that series.
That ought to be interesting. Level Engine's taken me out a couple times, too. That guy is, pretty good.
Level Engine will get you when you least expect it.
Yeah, I wonder if we see Patrick make a different turn in GP. I don't know if we're gonna... I don't know if ZSR is gonna stream him finishing up.
That's fair. And
Patrick thought that the towns were fully locked.
Yeah, but we are joined by chadbert. Dude, you destroyed this seed. GG's.
Yeah, man,
Thank you. First item I found, second item I found was the glove, and I'm like, I I know where Thunder's item is located. I'm going. I was just like, the only way I can beat Patrick is if I go as fast as I can. So I only took a greed check if I found it, and went.
Would you be surprised if we told you that Patrick hadn't placed a single gem?
Yes, I would have been very surprised by that if he hadn't said something already.
Oh, whoops. Yeah, he thought that the towns were food locked, so he didn't get ferry until not too long ago.
Oh, right. If you couldn't get to the east, then yes. And whereas I went to the Death Mountain, I saw Death Mountain, I'm like, oh, well, let me check a cave or two, because there's a couple of caves that looked fishy right there. I'm pretty sure Hammer Cave was the next cave over. And I was like, let me go into this one. Oh, it's the maze. Okay, let me go to the maze. Oh, there's a bridge. Let me go there. East. Find ferry.
Well, GG's, man, you crushed it. Welcome to the semifinals. 40 minutes for a 4-gem seed. Not too bad.
10 minutes of gems, pretty good.
Yeah, I joined a little bit late. I joined about 20-25 minutes in, and you had already placed 3 gems by then. And man, you were flying.
I had to. It was against Patrick. Patrick was very fast.
You got to because you got to, no matter what. No matter who you're against, you still gotta go fast.
Yep. And I went left because I'm like, it is very easy for Patrick to still be 2 to 3 minutes ahead of me. So I went left in GP. Give myself the best chance.
Yeah, well, it turned out to be the right play. How does it feel to be in the semifinals?
Fantastic. And my heart's racing at about 150 beats per minute since the win.
What? If I remember correctly, the last time you made it this far in a tournament was Upstarts. The year you did Upstarts.
Yep, I was in the finals for the first Upstarts tournament.
But I think you got a pretty good chance of winning this whole tournament, chadbert, if you keep playing the way that you were playing.
Yep. If I play like I played today and when we did the set of races, casual races, I can win the tournament for sure. If I play like I did game 2, probably won't.
Yeah, well, I would just do whatever you did this time. Just pretend like it's tournament life depends on it, and race every seed like it's your last race that you'll ever race.
Yep.
And if we happen to meet up in the finals, then we're both gonna just be like, all right, how hard are we going?
That's true. Sonny Raft is a potential opponent of yours.
Yep. Well, Sonny and I have been practicing almost nightly.
Nice.
I did mention that.
You two have been really... You guys have gotten so good just in this short period of time. It's been really incredible to watch. It's been awesome to see new blood in the tournaments, and especially ending up in the finals and taking out all the old guys. This is going to be a really, really interesting tournament at the end of the tournament, and it's going to be someone crowned Max Rando champion for the very first time. I don't think Level Engine's even been crowned Max Rando champion before, so whoever wins this tournament, it's going to be a first. It's going to be making history.
Yep, and Level has won a tournament, right? Or
Did
has
he
just
win
made it to fine?
I think
No,
he's
he's not.
Yeah, I think he's only made it to finals. I'm not sure. Maybe he's won one, but to my knowledge, I don't think he's won any of the tournaments.
Yeah, he
Yep,
has
so
not
so no matter what at this point, it's a new tournament champ. No matter what.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Aside from your heart going at 150 BPM, though, when you entered GP, I honestly was not even certain what you were going to do. If you were going to standard route it, or if you were going to try to play on some lefts.
so the only reason I did that is because I game overed in Death Valley trying to figure out what the palace there was. And when I went back, I went south from start and found Mito. Because I didn't have downstab, and I'm like, oh, Mito was right here, I could have had downstab like 20 minutes ago. So once I saw GP, I'm like, I've got to go left.
That's
Well,
absolutely fair.
Yeah, it turned out to be the right play. I was joking around with Sonny in the doing comms, saying that wouldn't that be something if Dark Link was just the first room on the right?
It would not be the first time.
Yeah, I think it's happened at least once this tournament.
We've also
I
had
know
practice
Mirai
rooms
ran a
decided.
seed. Mirai did a seed like a couple of weeks ago where he's like he took down Thunderbird and went on this long journey through everything. But if he didn't do T-Bird, it was 5 rooms.
That's hilarious. I just hope this
Because-
energy stays consistent after the tournament. I'm loving all these races and stuff. I know the race,
Yep.
the races are kind of cooled down a little bit because it's towards the end of the tournament and not many people have been looking to race. But I'm hoping once this thing tidies up, people want to get back into doing the casual races again.
I think more people will do casual races once it's not Max Rando.
Yeah, I think the races will pick back up for sure. Because at the same time, we'll also need to really get ready for 4-4. And, I mean, Upstarts will probably be right around the corner at that point.
Yeah, I'm wondering if ZSR will pick up another weekly, or if there'll be enough players to even for there to even be a weekly, or if like anybody would be interested in that.
I mean, it's a
My only problem with the
possibility.
weekly is I'm on the West Coast, so the weekly time is at like usually either when I'm at work or at dinner. So, but that's okay.
I mean-
That doesn't mean you should. That doesn't mean you should.
Usually we do them at like 10, so it would be like 7, I guess.
Do that on a
Yeah.
Thursday. I could do it.
What's the item in 5? It's the boots. Well, that's an item.
Yeah, I wonder if that would have helped you guys at all. Maybe it would have helped you guys get to the Maze Bridge a little faster, but
Yeah, all it would have really done would have been allow us to skip one encounter on Maze Island.
Yeah,
I
it's, it would have allowed you to skip that encounter in the maze. Alright. Patrick, making this long journey through P5, unfortunately runs into another dead end.
I thought that was going to be the boss room too.
Yeah. Because you look at the layout and it's the fake out room.
Yeah, it looks just like the boss room.
But P5 doing P5 things, it is the largest palace in the game.
Yeah, and man, I can't wait to see what Max Rando is going to be like on 5.0.
I haven't even thought about trying to generate a Max Rando seed in the beta.
It's going to be
Well,
silly.
we'd have to determine the settings. We'd have to determine the settings for that one.
That's true.
It's going to be super
Like,
silly.
I think I wasn't as big on the random percent thing in the last year, but I think a random percent where you randomize some of the things we don't have in the current version, but will have in 4.4, like whether spells are included in the general pool, things like that. I think some of that could be fun.
Laffy, I would highly recommend doing upstarts first before attempting weeklies or anything like that.
Generally on weeklies, we usually choose pretty tame flags, your basic Swiss or brackets flags of like a standard, 6 gems, start with 4 hearts, sometimes even start with the candle,
It's always a good time. Patrick, unfortunately suffering the fate of what P5 does.
Yeah, P5 is 27 rooms, but it feels like 57 rooms.
It feels like a long GP every single time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Chadbert, you didn't do P5. This one's looking pretty labyrinth-like, and yeah, it's throwing Patrick for a loop a little bit.
Yeah, I did P3-6 on the west, and I finally saw it. I'm like, wait, this isn't 1 or 4. And then I start going into P6, which, you know, could be 3. I'm like, wait a minute, I don't have downstep. Let me go do the other 2 first. But it turned out to be P6 anyways, and then I was like, I know where P3 is. I've got high enough stats that I don't have to worry too terribly much. The 2 last kind of sucks, but I was like, downstab plus Rebo, I could do it just fine. There's only 1 stab, though, so, for the horse.
Yeah, we were talking, Sony and I, about how much more fun downstabless Rebo is than with downstab.
It's a fight that I love, especially after learning how to do it.
Yeah, it's more interesting too, I think.
Yep. I've had one of my earlier upstart seats. I had where downstab was taken away. I had downstab, maybe an actual race. Downstab was blocked behind the item in 3, which required going through a pass to Rebo, and then a Rebo guarded item to get downstab.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's gonna be probably somewhat of a common occurrence in 5.0 to have Rebo blocking downstab in general. I mean, downstab's gonna be an item, you know, so item room could be behind Rebo, which is gonna be downstab potentially.
It's true. I will say, before the race started, Patrick said he wasn't going to be able to join for an interview unless this seed was done in like 15 minutes, which, you know, the 40 minutes that you got this done in, Chad, definitely felt like 15. Holy moly. And unfortunately,
yeah,
that is a death to Guma again.
Thank God you got that 1-up drop.
No kidding there. But, Patrick said he is going to go ahead and finish out the seed. But, VT's also saying we can wrap it up whenever we want, so... Trails, I'll leave it up to you if we want to go ahead and do that, or if we want to let Patrick finish out, because he is going to have to go get downstab.
Yeah, I mean, it's completely up to you guys, man. I'm just here enjoying the moment. I'm cool if we you know, wrap it up.
All right, well, Chad, you're moving on to semis. Congratulations on that. Any final thoughts on the seed or thoughts going into the semifinals?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It didn't feel like so it was a mountainous biome on the west, and I usually have to add 10 minutes to that. It felt weird to be going through so quickly on that, but it's great. But I just want to actually also make sure to thank everybody here for putting on the restream. It is hard to get all the restreams done, so thank you all for jumping on.
Chad, absolutely living up to the name. GG's and good luck moving forward in this tournament, man. I don't know, somehow Patrick ended up placing another gem. Well,
yeah, he took down Guma, and the other gem that he placed was... I don't know what the 4th gem he placed was, off the top of my head.
Was it Rebo Neck?
It might have been Rebo, because I think he did downstab Ballista Rebo.
Well, there was also 4 over there on the west.
And there's TAH with the... I'll say pseudo-announcement, but Upstart signups will be starting soon. I imagine probably once we get closer to the end of this tournament, the notification for Upstarts will go out. So
is this a shortcut? Hold on a second.
Ooh, it might be.
No,
Yo.
that looked so much like the room before Dark Link.
It did. But
I
it's
did not
Eon
see
Drop.
Eon drop.
Yeah, I was about to say that, and then Patrick took a spill into the lava. Man, I look forward to seeing whom you get in the semifinals, because either way, if it's home or if it's level, that's going to be a really, really good matchup.
Yeah, it really is. It just like I said earlier, man. Play like you did tonight, man. Play like it's your last race, no matter what. And God,
Yep.
Lord knows how long Patrick's gonna be in here for. You didn't even go right, so all this stuff is this is definitely a long GP.
Has to be.
And by
It's
you
feel,
going,
it feel. Go ahead.
I was just saying, by you, we could tell just by you going left and seeing all those different pathways and stuff, and now he's gone right, and it's completely opened up too. Like, God knows how long he's gonna be in here for.
Yeah, so I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up. And Trails, man, it's been a blast doing commentary with you.
Oh yeah, always, man. It's always a blast doing commentary with you as well.
And with that, VT, you want to take us home, my friend?
Yep. Going to go right over to Patrick's channel, cheer him on at the end of this run. The next race, I know we're going to try to restream here on ZSR Main between you, Sonny Wrath, and Top Life, the semifinals, game 1 this Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern, so adjust for your time zone. And of course, we also have other randomizers going on at the same time. We've got Majora's Mask randomizer. Got a couple races tomorrow as well. So, thank you, everybody. Definitely thank you, Sonny Wrath, Trails for commentating, JLo for clicking, clacking behind the scenes. And of course, thanks to all of our viewers, and we will see you next time.
See you guys next time.